A man who faced unimaginable loss, yet still dared to dream how far someone like Richard Goodall could go. From the depths of tragedy to the bright lights of America's Got Talent, Richard's journey will leave you wondering, how does someone turn heartbreak into triumph? Richard Goodall's tragedy leaves fans in tears. But his story is about much more than just overcoming loss. It's about finding hope in the most unexpected places. Watch this video till the end to discover how Richard went from heartache to stardom and why his journey has inspired millions. Applause. Music. Richard Goodall's special performance. It's important to note just how much of an impact his impressive vocals have made around the world. Richard Goodall's appearance on America's Got Talent touched many people, but his life story is much deeper than what was seen on TV. Beneath his beautiful voice is a journey filled with hardship, sorrow, and incredible strength. His life is a testament to overcoming the darkest moments. From the painful loss of his wife to finding comfort in music, Richard's life truly represents the idea of finding brilliance in the most challenging circumstances. Let's dive into his emotional journey and see the struggles that shaped him. For years, Richard faced a lot of challenges, but nothing could compare to the heartache he felt when his wife, Patty, passed away. Patty was diagnosed with kidney cancer and fought hard, but she passed away in 2021. Richard and Patty had been together for 3 decades, and losing her was a devastating blow. The longer you are with someone, the harder it is to face the pain of losing them. The good times they shared and the memories they built together made it even more difficult for Richard to move on. He often shared photos of meals they prepared together on social media. But after Patty's one-person health creative, AI-powered meals and activity tracker. Track meals and activities with voice/photos. AI analyzes your data. Get personalized recommendations that actually work. Try for free. Sponsored. Passing, these posts became too painful, and he could no longer find joy in those memories. Richard took to Instagram to express his grief, sharing how deeply he tried to save Patty. But despite his best efforts, he was unable to. The loss of Patty left him feeling empty, and it took a long time before Richard could pick up anything that once brought him joy. After a period of mourning, Richard slowly found the strength to get back to something he loved, singing. He started singing karaoke at a local bar, which helped him reconnect with his passion. Richard Goodall tragedy leaves fans in tears. While the pain of losing someone never fully disappears, Richard slowly began to heal. He worked on putting the pieces of his life back together. In an unexpected turn, he met someone new, giving him a fresh start and reminding him that love can still find a way into even the most broken hearts. On New Year's Eve of 2022, Richard's life took an unexpected turn when he met Angie Van on Facebook. After Angie followed the bar's page, their conversation began casually, but it quickly grew into something more meaningful. Their bond deepened over time, and in 2024, they decided to marry in a small, intimate ceremony. This was not just the start of a new relationship for Richard. It was a reminder that he had found love and joy again after years of heartache. Just like he did with his late wife Patty, Richard began sharing photos of homemade meals that Angie prepared on his Instagram, offering a glimpse of the happiness they were building together. His posts and the way he often speaks about Angie show just how much she has brought light into his life. Richard's social media activity makes it clear that he is thankful he didn't let go of his passion for music. A passion that led him to Angie in a surprising way. Richard's story isn't just about finding love. It's about holding on to what matters even when life pushes you in different directions. He could have easily given up on his dreams when he paused his education in search of a better future. Growing up in a small town in Indiana, Richard's family didn't have many resources, which made going to college a distant dream. Despite these challenges, Richard's love for music never faded. Even as life tried to pull him in other directions, his connection to music remained strong, shaping the path that eventually led him back to his passion and ultimately to Angie. Richard's early love for music and the challenges he faced from a very young age. Richard formed a deep bond with music. Even though he grew up without a father figure, his adoptive family was always there to support him. And that encouragement helped him nurture his passion. His adoptive mother, Virginia Goodall, would sit with him as he spent endless hours listening to his favorite songs on his trusty stereo from Radio Shack, singing along and dreaming of a future filled with music. During high school, Richard's love for music blossomed, and it gave him the chance to develop his singing talents. Over time, He became more skilled, and music became his way of expressing himself and connecting with the world around him. After finishing high school, Richard joined a gospel band, using his voice to share his passion with others. However, like many people, his path was interrupted by life's unexpected challenges. When the world shut down in 2020 due to the disease outbreak, the band was forced to end, leaving Richard without the musical outlet that had brought him so much joy. Determined to move forward, Richard picked himself up and focused on finding a stable income to support himself. Financial stability became a priority. So, he took on a job as a janitor at Shanty Rose Middle School. Although the work was not glamorous, it provided him with the stability he needed during difficult times. Despite his circumstances, Richard never allowed his dream of becoming a star to fade. He performed his job with dedication, filling the hallways with his beautiful voice, which led to him earning the nickname Singing Janitor. Richard embraced his role proudly, knowing that while it didn't fulfill his musical aspirations, it allowed him to make a positive impact in his own unique way. Richard's time at the school and his journey to the spotlight. For 23 years, Richard was a steady and dependable presence at Shanty Rose Middle School. Each day, he carried out his routine tasks, taking out the trash, sweeping the floors, and wiping down chairs and tables. But his work was about more than just keeping the school clean. Richard brightened the hallways with his singing, his voice filling the space and catching the attention of everyone around him, from students to teachers. His co-workers and the children he worked with were often amazed by his talent. They encouraged him to share his gift with a wider audience, seeing something special in him that deserved to be heard beyond the school walls. Their belief in him became the fuel for his decision to audition for talent shows. Although many people discovered Richard's voice later on, America's Got Talent wasn't his first attempt to step into the spotlight. He had tried before, but success always seemed just out of his reach. Before his viral moment, Richard auditioned for The Voice, pouring his heart into the performance and hoping for a positive outcome. However, when the rejection email from The Voice arrived, it was a devastating blow. After giving it his all, hearing no felt like a moment that could have crushed his confidence. Despite the setback, Richard kept pushing forward, overcoming rejection and embracing a new opportunity. For many, receiving rejection might feel like the end of a dream. It's the moment when doubt takes over and the temptation to give up becomes overwhelming. But for Richard, it wasn't the end. It was a turning point. Instead of letting the rejection define him, he turned it into motivation. For him, it wasn't about proving the judges wrong. It was about proving to himself that he could continue even when things didn't go as planned. That no from The Voice didn't close the door on his journey. Instead, it opened the way for a fresh start. As the saying goes, when one door closes, another opens. Richard's rejection was just the beginning of a new chapter, one that would ultimately lead him to the stage he had always dreamed of. The support of his students played a huge role in keeping Richard's dream alive. They believed in him even when he wasn't sure of himself. Their encouragement pushed him to keep going. And one day during a school event, he sang Journey's famous song, Don't Stop Believing. His performance was shared on TikTok, where it quickly went viral. The video captured the attention of the local community and soon spread across the internet. Rejection wasn't the final word in Richard's story. It was the catalyst he needed to push forward. This time, the world was ready to notice him. His viral video caught the eye of former Journey frontman Steve Perry and America's Got Talent judge Howie Mandel, who encouraged Richard to audition for the show. With the continued support of the students and staff at Shanty Rose Middle School, as well as the encouragement from celebrities, Richard knew it was time to take another chance. He gathered his courage, agreed to audition for AGT, and set off on a new chapter in his musical journey. Even though he had no idea what to expect, Richard kept his hopes modest. He had to travel to California for the audition despite never having flown before. Community support and Richard's journey to AGT. Despite gaining some recognition, Richard's journey was far from easy. Along with the excitement of newfound fame came new challenges. For one, Richard had never flown before, and his limited income from working as a school janitor made it nearly impossible to afford the travel expenses, hotel stays, and other costs required for competing on America's Got Talent. The high cost of living in California only added to the financial strain, with plane tickets, accommodation, and daily expenses quickly piling up. Richard found himself in a tough spot, unsure of how he would manage to make his dream a reality. However, his story took an unexpected turn when the people of Terre Haute, Indiana, stepped in to support him. Chris Bond, a local resident, started a GoFundMe campaign to help Richard cover his travel costs. The mission was clear: to ensure that Richard could audition for AG without financial stress. Chris's call to action, urging people to give Tarot, Indiana's AGT Golden Buzzer winner, our support, resonated with many, and soon the campaign gained incredible momentum. Within a short time, generous contributions raised an astounding $115,000, providing Richard with the financial support he desperately needed. Thanks to this overwhelming community support, Richard could take his first-ever flight and travel to California, ready to compete on AGT without the worry of how to cover his expenses. Richard's journey didn't end after his successful audition. He returned to compete in the next round of America's Got Talent, fully determined to give his best performance. This time, he wasn't alone. Thanks to the continued support of his community, the people of Tarot, Richard's support group, was able to join him, making the experience even more unforgettable. When Richard finally stepped onto the stage to face the intimidating panel of judges, Simon Cowell, Sofia Vergara, Heidi Klum, and Howie Mandel, his nerves were clearly visible. The moment was heavy, and Richard felt the weight of it all. Sensing his anxiety, Simon Cowell calmly told him to shake it off, reminding him that everyone in the room was cheering for him. That simple piece of encouragement, paired with the cheers from the audience, gave Richard the confidence boost he needed. He took a deep breath and, with a renewed sense of self-belief, he began his performance. As Richard sang the first few notes of Don't Stop Believing, any doubts the audience had quickly vanished. What followed was nothing short of magical.